This engine's in pretty bad shape. It's I believe it has a lot of blow by. The seals are all gone. So right after I got it lowered, I drove it for a week to work, and about 30 minutes away, and I go twice a day because I come home for lunch to let my dog out. And just in that week, it went through a quart of oil. I mean, I guess it was running all right. So, I mean, that one's pretty much bridged. So now we're on cylinder 3. Oh wow, 60? So we need to figure out what's going on with cylinder number 3. It was only around 60 PSI. The other 3 were over 100. It'd be nice if we can get it a little closer to 150 across the board, but if we can at least get cylinder 3 up around the others, then it should run a little smoother. So I need to pull off this pulley and then take this timing belt cover off, take the valve cover off, pull the timing belt off, and then we should be able to unbolt the head and pull it off and take a look at the cylinder walls and the valves and see exactly what's going on. Alright, so cylinder 3 definitely has some damage. It's not scored like rings or anything. It's like water damage, like some rust, and that must be where the water was sitting a couple years ago when this thing was locked up, or it could have already been like that. I didn't pull it apart all the way when I replaced the head gasket when I first got it, so it could have been like that and I just left it. But I guess I mean, it's bad. I can feel it. Doesn't seem like it'd bring it all the way down to 60 PSI, but we'll check the head too and the valves. But we'll home that out as good as we can get it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking it to the machine shop. It's going to be what it is. But hopefully we can make it better. That plus new rings should raise it up. But yeah, so there's definitely damage there. All the other cylinders look really good. So you can, I don't know if you can see the oil line right there. Looks to be pretty wide, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So I mean the rings are definitely worn, but when we take it all apart we'll measure all that stuff. Yeah, hopefully we can clean this cylinder up some. Alright, let's check out the head. Alright, so here's the head, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing really stands out. There's a lot of buildup on the intake valves, but I kind of think that's a coating, like a ceramic coating or something. All the 1, 2, and 3, the exhaust valves are seated. I mean, they look fine. There may be a little gap on the intake there. It's hard to tell. When we pull it the rest of the way apart and clean it up, we'll be able to get a better look, but nothing really stands out there as being an issue. Yeah, looks good. I don't see any obvious signs of head gasket failure. So it looks like the cylinder wall is the main source of our low compression on cylinder 3. So I went ahead and pulled everything off the engine, the brackets to hold the accessories and the motor mounts and stuff like that. I also drained the oil, pulled the oil pan off. Everything looked fine in there. When I redid the top end rebuild on this, you know, 12 years ago or whatever, I cleaned the oil pan out and stuff, and it looks clean. So nothing new's happened in that way. So I figured we'd I've already broke the nuts loose on the rods. See what they look like. Well, they're pretty tight. So that's cylinder number 4. Looks really good. I don't see any scoring. Crank feels good. Let's see if we can get that rod out, or the piston out. Yeah, it's coming out fine. There's a little bit of ridge on the top, but it's really not much at all. There's piston number 4. Yeah, that looks fine. Number 3 is the only one I'm worried about because the walls are scored up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So that's number 4. Let me get something where I can lay these out in order. All right. See what number 3 looks like. Well, the bearing did not come out with the cap. Which is generally not a good sign. Maybe some really light scoring. It's hard to tell. I'm not sure if I feel something or not. And it is tight in the cap. It's just the oil suction cupped it to the crank for some reason. Let's see if this one comes out easy. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it looks the same. It's a little more wear. I mean, this is all original, so I didn't replace these when I got it. Don't see any wear in the piston. Still feel the machine marks. No wear on the top that I can tell. So yeah, that might be okay. Alright, well that was probably the interesting one, so I'll take the rest of them out and then I'll let you know if I find anything. So here's a shot of cylinder 3. Let me see if y'all can see that. You see it's pretty scored up down in there. It's not super deep, but I can definitely feel it. It's I think it's fine at the top, and it's like a 2-inch area from about 1 inch down to 3 inches down that is kind of discolored, but it's really just this spot right here about 1 inch down. It's about 3/8 inch wide or centimeter wide or whatever, and yeah, hopefully we can clean that up. Like I said, there's barely any lip. The ring's barely even caught. So I don't think it would hurt if we, ground on it a little bit. And we got plenty of available material. But anyways, it's getting late. I'm about to go inside. I got to work in the morning. But I figured before we quit, why don't we hit it with a home, see what happens, see if it cleans up at all. I've got a rag over the crank just to kind of protect it. I'll just do this for a minute, just see if there's any obvious difference. I'm not too worried with cross hatches right now. I mostly just want to get some material removed. Let's see if I can make sure I don't go too low. Get a paper towel. It's honestly think that it won't take much to get it out. can get a light. I already lost the light. Here it is. I feel like that took a lot of it off. Let's do it a little bit more. I mean, you can definitely still see where it was, so it's not all out. I almost can't feel that with my fingernail anymore. There's definitely some spots that aren't probably going to come clean. But I think it's going to get close enough to at least get our compression up some. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get the crank out and we'll go to town on it and see how good we can get it. I don't know if you can see, there's just kind of a area right here where it was the worst. A little bit of lip. I've got a tool to remove the lip, but I don't know if we need to do it here because it's just not much there. And the ring is all the way around it. Anyways, I'm going to spray a little more oil in there so it won't rust or anything tonight. And tomorrow we will get the crank out. Alright, I got the main bearing caps loose, so let's see what they look like. Have to tap them off with something. I get a little scored. And the crank is too. We might polish that out a little bit with some emery cloth. That one's going to be hard to get out because it's the thrust bearing. That one's better. That one's got some pretty heavy scoring on the bearing, but the crank's fine. That one's good. Let's see if I can get the center one out. I might have to bring that one out with the crank. So I have to polish the crank a little bit, but nothing looks bad. At this point, I'm gonna take the oil pump off the front and rear main seal, you know, assembly off the back, and take this thing outside and clean it because it's just really nasty, and clean all the other parts. It's actually warm today for some reason, so I'm going, it's like 70 outside February, so I'm gonna get the pressure washer going and just kind of get a lot of this heavy dirt and oil off of it, and get us in a better position to clean it up and hone out the cylinders. So I'm gonna go work on that and I'll be back. Alright, so I pressure washed the blocks, a lot cleaner now. It's pretty much down the metal everywhere. I got some oil and put it in all the bearings and everything and blew everything out with air, so there's no water on the engine anymore. Nothing should rust. So I think it's time to try to home the cylinders a little bit. But before I bore it, I'm gonna try this thing. The first engine I ever rebuilt, I was over at a buddy's house and he had one of these. And the purpose of this, I don't know what it's called, but it has a carbide blade, and you stick it in the top of the cylinder and go around, and it shaves away that part that wasn't worn by the rings, the lip. And I don't know if you actually take it all the way down to metal, because you would start boring, you know, the cylinder at the top, which you wouldn't want. But just kind of pay attention to it, and you get it down to where it's pretty much gone, and then whenever you do your homing, it can take care of the rest. So I'm gonna give this thing a try. I'm just going off of memory on this. Should probably watch a video or something, but like I said, I don't even know what the thing's called. It's starting to rain. I'm gonna tighten it till the blade, get a light, till the blade comes in contact with the block. And just rotate it and see what happens. Definitely put some more oil on there. It's kind of starting to take it off on the top. As you tighten this, it puts more pressure on the blade. I think it kind of tapers it out, so that's why you wouldn't want to go below, you know, into the bore. So I'm gonna get the camera. So basically it has, if you look, get a light. If you look here, you can see it's over 1/4 inch tall. That where that lip starts, you can see the discoloration between where it's clean metal and carbon. And here, I don't know if you can see in here. Try to get you closer. So you can see there's a little bit of shininess on top, maybe 1/8 inch or so. So it's just starting to kind of cut away at the top of it. And I think once the whole thing kind of becomes shiny, pretty much a good place to stop. Like I said, I don't remember how this thing works, so I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to home it. Okay, so it's now taking it down. I can feel the groove right or the lip right under it, and it's almost gone. So I'm going to stop there, and now when I home it, you know, that raised part's not going to be wearing out my home uneven. So I don't know if that's even a thing, but that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully that's all good. I think it's probably just made for something completely different, and Just kind of doesn't make any sense to use here, I don't know, but let's get to homing. PB Blaster's not spraying anymore. So there's some farm craft. Yeah, works awesome. Okay. Yeah, the can's still like full, it's just ran out of aerosol or something. All right, so I'm gonna put the drill on slow and do a lot of up and down motion. And this will take a long time. Well, not really here, because this bore is fine. I'm just cleaning it up, but this one will take a long time to do this way. So it's pretty much clean all the way down the bore except for this little spot up here. You could leave that. I think most people would leave it, but since I used that tool, I'm going to go a little more and see if I can get rid of it. All right, so I worked on homing the cylinders for about a week. Worked on just a little bit every day after work and went through a couple sets of stones, but I think I have it pretty good. So cylinder 1, 2, and 4 are basically perfect. There's no ridge around the top anymore. It's all cleaned up real nice. Cylinder 3, I got it clean except for right at the bottom of the travel. I know you're not going to be able to see it on the camera. There's just a little tiny bit of pitting, but the upper half of the stroke is definitely clean, and that's where the compression happens. So I think that's not going to cause us any major issues. Certainly better than it was before. I also went ahead and surfaced, whenever the machine surfaces, just to clean them up. So it's basically where it's going to be until we reassemble it. So a few things we need to do. I need to clean up the crank a little bit. You could just barely feel some scratches on some of the places, so I clean those surfaces up. Got the head to work on. I'm not going to do much to the head. I am going to take the valves out and lap them, so got to do that. A couple other little projects, just little things that I saw that were worn out or broken when we took it apart, and I can't get replacements for, so I'll have to work on some of those. So a couple of maybe smaller videos, and then we should do a reassembly and put it back in the truck and all that good stuff. So not sure when the next video is going to be on this. Hopefully soon, but yeah, the block's pretty much ready to go. So yep, so until next time, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you have any thoughts or comments or suggestions. Like I said, this isn't a rebuild to make the engine like new. It's mostly the number one goal, which we'll certainly achieve, is to get it to stop leaking oil so bad. But I think we're going to get cylinder 3 back, so that's going to be an improvement. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys.